Where did Tiffany go? Hey, everybody. Welcome
Hey
to
y'all.
another episode of the Coaches Connect, y'all. I am so excited to be here again on this wonderful Wednesday night, right before they say we're about to experience a freeze, okay? Um, I'm the host, Latoya Nicole, and here with me, I have some of the amazing authors from the anthology, The Coaches Connect, Volume 2. Now, some of them are, well, okay, we have mostly, I'm sorry, Tara, but we have mostly volume one here too. But
Mhm.
we're gonna be on here talking about the Coaches Connect, our book, our role in the book, a little bit about what we talked about. So if you got some tea, go ahead and grab your tea. Not tea Nicole, but your tea that you drink. And join us for this amazing chat. Hi ladies, how y'all doing?
Good.
Hey.
Hey.
It's
Hello.
so good to
Good.
be
How are
back in the
you?
room with you queens.
Yes,
Good
I'm
to see you.
so
Yes,
excited.
indeed.
We need StreamYard to be able to have all of us on at one time because they tripping. They tripping. However, when we get ready to have our virtual party, we just gonna have to use Zoom. That's all. We're gonna have to go back to old Zoom. But ladies, we are here to talk about our book, The Coaches Connect Volume 2, A Guide to Navigating Through Adversities. And this is a good one because people go through stuff all the time. I just saw a young lady on TikTok and she said, "Why do y'all tell people it's going to be all right? It's been 2 years."
Mm.
And
Mm.
I was like, it's so much I want to say, but I can't type all that. So I'm like, I'm going to have to duet her video. You know how they duet, and then put my response. Because when she said that, I felt that. Because I
Mm-hmm.
remember it was times I was dealing with stuff and it felt like I had been in that pit for years. But then I thought about it. I still had the same mindset. I wasn't doing anything different. So I'm like, okay, if I'm hanging out in this pit, it's probably partially because I'm not making a shift anywhere.
Mm.
So I wanted to comment, and I was like, let me offer her a free book and workbook before it even come out. I just felt like I wanted to help her because I've been there. I've been there, and it's so dark and so lonely, and it looked like she had been crying when she was saying that.
Lord.
I was like, oh my God, the coaches connect. She
Mm-hmm.
needs she needs us right now. But I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna go back and get her information and do it the video so I can help because I have been there, and I was the child that had to kind of like figure everything out on my own. So maybe she can she resonates with that, and maybe that's what's going on, and she doesn't have that missing link, which is
Mm.
one of us possibly. Hey, Coach Annette. Coach Annette has joined us. She's in
And
the
I'm
chat.
trying to get on the live too, y'all. I am still here and listening and
Okay. Yeah,
but
she
she
is
is not.
in the chat. Thank you so much for supporting your anthology sisters. So before we go any further, I want y'all to introduce yourselves just to let people know who you are, what you do. Well, your name, we know your coaches, but your specific niche, because I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna watch and they're gonna need you. They're gonna be like, you know what, I saw Coach Latasha on there, and she does credit management and she helps me shift my mindset towards my finances because right now my mindset is terrible concerning my finances. So let me go back on this live and get her information. So we can start with you, Coach Latasha, since I put you
Yes.
I put you in the hot seat like that. I'm sorry.
You said, yeah. No, that's good. That's fine. Well, just like you said, my name's Coach Latasha. I am the owner of Optimum Life Credit Solutions, Optimum Life Enterprises, LLC. I'm a credit repair specialist. Niche is also in mindset. I feel like it's important to fix our mindset, shift our mindset so that we can where we need to go and whatever it is that we do. Because mindset to me is everything.
Yes, absolutely. That's like the foundation, coach. Seriously.
It is.
I
Miss
do.
Tira.
Hey everyone, my name is Tira Stewart, Coach
Everything
Tira.
in life with the coaches.
I am a
I will be
leadership strategist,
on
so
a
my specific niche in leadership is
introductions are
emotional
happening.
and relational intelligence. where I help you understand how your emotions affect your everyday life and how important relationships are. Um, yeah, and I mean, I think that everyone would agree that the foundation of any coaching practice or belief therapy or anything of that matter is mindset. Because if your mindset isn't shifted to where you're open to receive, to where you are ready to actually transition, then it's very hard for you to do so. So, yeah,
Absolutely. I
mindset is the key.
100% agree too. Mindset definitely. Because I was reading something and it said something about if you have a growth mindset, that means you are open to
Mhm.
change.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
you take your abilities and you can enhance them, that it's
Correct.
not fixed right
Correct.
where you are. You can develop them. And I was like, okay, preach girl, because that's exactly what I try to tell people.
Yeah.
What I try. I think they listen, but I'm just saying that's exactly what I try. We gotta be open to change and shifting. See, Nicole.
Toya, you are already dropping so many jewels, so I hope people are paying attention to what everybody is saying, but just
Yeah.
it's the little things. Sometimes we overlook it. So everybody, my name is Therese Teasley, but I go by T Nicole. I am a coach. I am a speaker. I am an author, and I also have my show. It is called the T Nicole Show. It is relaunching in January, and so
Yes.
I specialize in showing up, helping others to show up authentically after dealing with trauma. So that could be sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, because sometimes we suffer from what's known as the imposter syndrome because we're so
Come
used
on
to
now,
being
talk about it.
somebody else and not
Yes.
being ourselves. So we
Come
get
on.
back. I want people to get back to who they are
Come
authentically
on.
created
Mhm.
to be. And so I don't want to go into all the details just yet, but just
Yes.
keep listening to what I say because of the simple fact I tell you little things that you need to know. So just show up every day as yourself, and that's what I
Show up.
preach and practice.
Yes.
So thank you.
Come on. Come
And
on.
and let me plug this. T Nicole, y'all heard her say she has her own show.
Mhm.
So if you are out there listening and you are an author and you're trying to position your platform, reach out to T Nicole. And I do, if I'm not mistaken, the four of these ladies are also speakers. So if you're having events, conferences, workshops, summits, you got four speakers right here that you can invite and have on your panel. I think that's very important. And then if you go watch the one from last week, those ladies are also speakers as well. And they're telling you their niche, reach out to them. Coach Tiffany,
Hey, y'all.
what's up?
I am so excited to be back with y'all. Coaches Connect #1 showed me that I could do anything that I put my mind to. And with that, I got introduced to this beautiful family of women who are all gifted in their own right. I'm blessed to be a part of Coaches Connect, but here's a tiny bit about me. My name is Tiffany Page Colazzo. I go as Tiffany Latrice. I'm a certified coach and a certified book publisher. I am currently running 3 businesses: Colazzo Coaching, which is consulting, coaching and consulting in anything development, personal development, leadership development, business development. I have a business called Diverse Collabs, which is a digital content company. I produce commercial digital content for business owners to rebrand as their own and then sell on their sites. And recently became a certified book publisher and released notably written publications with a lot of thought and concentration and assistance from, of course, our visionary, who is our gift. She has been our gift for over a year now. So yeah, it is my pleasure to be connected to these women, to be providing services. I help entrepreneurs slow down so that they can level up. I know a bit about that. Very type A, worked for years, 27 of those years in the nonprofit sector, building legacy for everyone around me. And I can remember God saying to me to rest in green pastures. But hey, I was, you know what I mean? I was a single mom. I had things to do. And I told him, hold on, sir. I don't have time to hold on. So he set me down. And in the time that he set me down, I met all of you, wrote up what I went through during that time, created a wonderful signature program that I now, with this platform of Coaches Connect, have expanded. I've expanded my reach beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. So if you are out there, your story matters. Your story is what's going to expand your capacity. Your story is what's going to cause people to see you as the expert that we already know that you are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a story, if you're ready, if you think you're ready, if you have a concept, there are book publishers here before you. We work together, we work individually. Reach out to one of us. We're here. It'd be our pleasure to help you.
Y'all got some amazing resumes. I made some amazing resumes. Y'all got your media kits because I feel like people about to start reaching out. So make sure you got the media kits to go ahead and get them out there, y'all.
Yeah.
Because this is amazing. And then you guys, audience, I'm gonna assume you know me by now. Latoya Nicole. I am the organizer. I'm the belief therapist, the life coach, and as Tiffany stated, the publisher as well. I love teaching about self-publishing. I'm an advocate. Okay, secure your bag yourself. But y'all, let's talk about. Okay, I'm sorry, Miss Johnson. She says, "Grand evening, Queens. How you doing, Miss Johnson?" And she said she needs to officially publish her book. So you wrote your book already? Because you on the right live at the right
Come
time.
on now. Come in the room, sis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's Miss
here, 'cause
Angel
we
right there. That's Angel.
Yeah,
Hey,
we
Angel.
can definitely help you do that. Yeah, if you want, we can tag team. We can all help you. Okay. Yes, if you need writing help, we got you, girl. We got
you covered.
So please just reach out. I see you know T.
Mm-hmm.
So just send her a message if you need to connect with one of us and she'll get you the information. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about navigating through adversity.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Mm.
What was that like talking about it? Did y'all feel like y'all experienced some adversity while you were writing about adversity? Okay, it wasn't just me. Okay.
Listen.
No, it wasn't just you.
Listen. Okay, which one of these can I sum up real quick? One of these, because it wasn't just one.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
That's the
no.
fact.
It was, oh my gosh. I can't even sum up just one either, because when I was reading the book and I was reading Coach Latasha, I'm not picking on you tonight, I promise. But I was dealing with the situation.
Are you sure?
That you wrote about. No, the situation you wrote about, I was actually dealing with that while writing. And
Wow.
you talked about lasting a decade, baby. I lasted 2 months. It was, y'all know me, y'all. I ain't about to do too much toxic. I can't, and it was just bad. It was like very controlling. It appeared to me, I put my belief therapy hat on, and it appeared to me she had some mother issues.
Oh my.
She lacked control, so she had to come to work and dictate and control everybody else. And if you didn't do what she said, then you were a target. And we're not finna do that over here. Okay?
No, ma'am.
Because I had already told her I don't do retaliation because of, and she still did it. I think she thought I was playing. But yeah, I had to chunk the deuce. I couldn't do it. And it's crazy because I feel like, oh my gosh, I've really grown. Because if this was me 10 years ago, I would have stayed at that job. I would have stayed there. I would have been like, I'm a single mom. I gotta take care of my daughter, and she's
If you
not a
don't take
normal
care of
daughter.
yourself, you ain't taking care of her. You did
She's
exactly right.
expensive. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was like, if this was me 10 years ago, I would have still been there. I would have stayed there and tolerated that because that's what I'm used to. You know, I had been used to being in dysfunction, so dysfunction was kind of normal. But when we start healing and peeling back those layers, baby, we don't have time for dysfunction no more. It's time to go. We don't have time for that no more. I'm sorry, we don't. That
Gone.
peace that surpasses all understanding, that's what I want.
That's it.
And it wasn't going. I wasn't gonna get it there, so I had to reel it on back in
Mm-hmm.
and start fresh. And now I got some peace because I'm at home in my own little office, working and doing what I need to do, and I have the time that I need for my clients. So yeah. So your chapter, I mean, all of them, I saw a piece of myself in, but I was actually in that situation, in that at the moment. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that and going deeper. And while I'm on you, because I know you think I'm picking on you, you want to tell a little bit about your chapter?
Yeah. So, and just basically what you said times 10 years, where it started as a week, a month, 5 years, but it was a decade. And like you said, I was used to the dysfunction. I made excuses for her. I was like, oh, she's like this because of this. They called her nickname was Hitler, the dictator, So a while, I said, okay, I have to create an exit strategy because I'm talking about breaking down hives. It got bad. I lived for Friday, Sunday. I mean, I dreaded Monday. So my Sunday evenings, I just started like getting sick. This is too much. So created my exit strategy. Yeah, because I was thinking about it. It was so much. Created my exit strategy. Took me about a year, but I was able to do it. I got out, never looked back, and it was the best decision I've ever had. But just going, I was just used to just dealing with it. I always felt like, our place, don't say much, be humble, you have a job, but we don't have to put up with things we don't have to deal with. And that's a fact. And, I have 2 girls, I have 2 daughters. So if I'm not showing them how to, stand up on their own 2 feet and, be independent and there's power in your voice, I'm their first teacher. So if I'm not living up to what I'm telling them, they're not going to take me serious. So that's a little bit about my chapter.
That part, we gotta be, we're their first role model.
And it is. Come on.
Yes. Come on here. Yes. Coach T. We got a lot of T's on here.
Right. I think there's a lot of T's.
Kira, I'm sorry. We got all these T's. My bad. I'm so sorry. Y'all being really goofy. I'm so sorry. Tell us about I'm sorry. I still have the giggles. Y'all let me get it out.
Too much.
Tell us about your chapter just a little bit. Give them a little bit because we want them to download the book for our bestsellers because we know you guys are going to help us get there. And then we want them to purchase a copy and highlight and write their notes and stuff and purchase the workbooks. So just give them a little dash.
I still didn't hear which T.
Oh, you. I'm sorry. My bad.
I'm just picking.
My bad.
So my chapter is titled Uncovering My Identity. And the hardest part for me was it's something that I dealt with for a very long time. And I find that a lot of people tend to deal with, especially when their identity isn't solidified as a child.
Come on.
And you're having to,
come on.
How can I put this? When you aren't solidified as a child, you seek validation from anywhere, and you tend to put on, just as I put on my sweater, you tend to put on what it is that other people have said about you.
Ooh, girl, I used to call it Velcro syndrome.
And you walk around, yes, and you walk around with these clothes on, right? And all you're doing is just changing clothes based on who's telling you what. So all I'm doing is swapping out sweaters, and all I'm doing is swapping out shirts, and all I'm doing is swapping out pants. Yeah. But I never can stand in my nakedness and see exactly who I am, right? I'm always covered with an opinion of someone else, or what someone else said about me, or how someone else feels about me, or how they feel I should show up. So I would shrink back a lot of the times, and I would not just dim the light, I'll just turn the thing off. And it's like, it wasn't until I really, really delved deep, and I really hearkened to the voice of Holy Spirit on who I was in Christ, and who I was created and predestined and orchestrated to be, that I was able to start to remove some of the clothing that it didn't even look right on me, right? Yeah. So I know T. Nicole talks about showing up as your authentic self, and I felt like I wasn't able to do that because I was wearing these things that didn't really identify with me, but I shifted my mind and I shifted who I was to try and fit into something that didn't fit. And I carried around the baggy jeans and the baggy clothes and the tight fit this and the tight that, or whatever, just to be able to stand next to certain people and just be able to stand in the room. I wasn't in the front of the room in the middle. I was in the back, but at least I was in the room is how I felt. And because I didn't know who I was, I couldn't raise my hand and say, okay, Lord, send me. He couldn't send me nowhere because I didn't know who I was going. Right. So I was wondering why for the longest time I wasn't really progressing. And Toya can attest to this. There were many times she and I would have been on the phone and she'll ask me, she'll say, so when you gonna go live and say that? I was like, who, me? She said, yeah. I was like, never. Like, so there are so many conversations that we've had, so many strategies that I've given out, so many things that the world will never know. Right. I mean, they'll know now, but at that time it was like, they'll never know, because of the fact that I was too afraid to show up as me. And so, yeah, that's basically what the chapter is, really uncovering my true identity. And then once you find out who you are, and once you realize who you are, there is no stopping you.
Oh my gosh.
There is no stopping you. No stopping you. And a lot of it kind of, this isn't in the chapter, so I guess I can share this. But a lot of it stemmed from, so being in corporate America, right? And the particular corporation that I work for, I've worked for about 4 different offices, and in each one of them, I was the first African-American female. The first African-American female, right? And so when you would go into these places as the first African-American female, you felt as if you didn't belong. You felt as if it was, and I'll tell you just real quick, I'm not trying to take up no time, but this is what I thought about. My very first job, someone gave the owner, I have a background in surgical technology, so someone gave the owner of a dental practice my resume, and he looked at my resume. They couldn't really pronounce my name, but that wasn't anything. But he looked at my resume and my qualifications. I graduated from college, all these things. So they thought that I was white. Like, true story. They thought that I was white. So when I showed up for the interview, it was on a Monday. They didn't see patients that day. I showed up for the interview. I sat in the lobby for about 40 minutes. And I had to interview with 5 people. That's not their normal standard, but I had to interview with 5 people. Well, if God intended for me to do that at that time for me to get to where I am now. So he opened the door and I started working there. About 6 months into the job, the other assistant told me, we were in sterilization, just minding our little business. And she just randomly said, T, you ever wonder why it took them so long to call you for the interview? I say, honestly, I did. I said, but then I didn't worry about it. I just thought that there was their practice. She said, no, it was because they thought you were white. And they were trying to figure out how to hire you. When she told me that messed me up. It messed me up because I started to feel like I didn't belong, right? Wow. I just started to feel like I was out of place. I started to feel, and so God would constantly put me in these situations where I would go into these companies and I would be the first or the only African-American for a while. And I'm like, Lord, this is uncomfortable for me. Why do you keep putting me in these positions? Like, I was angry. I was really angry. But it was for me to get through this, to be able to help someone else, but also to find out who I really was. And to know that it wasn't about what was written on the resume, those are great, but it was about what he had already placed in me. Whereas each one of those companies needed something that I had. You know, so I needed them, of course, for a job, but they needed something that I had. I was there to deposit something. And I couldn't make the deposit if I didn't know who I was. So yeah, that's it.
Come on now.
They needed something you had, girl. All right now. So wait. So okay. I need to ask you a question right quick. Okay. Okay, we have a comment, Mrs. Johnson. I'm sorry if it's Mrs. or Miss. I apologize. She said as Black women, we don't speak on that enough. She was referencing what you said, and I agree. So the Coaches Connect, we're gonna start speaking on it, sweetie. We're gonna start speaking on it. But Coach Tira, when you were talking, when that lady told you that, did you feel like it opened up like an imposter syndrome wound or something like that? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I mean, it's something that's a whole thing, y'all. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And it's like, you know, it's hard because, you know, people always like, we try not to make it about, you know, the color situation or whatever, but it's the mere fact that we have an entire culture, an entire group of people that have been silenced because we're trying to accommodate their feelings while at the expense of our own.
Ooh.
I'm trying to accommodate you by not trying to hurt, and especially being a believer, right? Being a believer, I'm trying to make sure that I'm extending the love of God to you, right? And trying to make sure that I'm doing this, but I'm also, there's a better way to do it where you're not self-sacrificing, because we were taught to self-sacrifice. We were taught to just give until you drain dry. Yes. And if you don't have nothing left, then I don't know what to tell you. But it's just, it is a conversation that we don't really talk about a whole lot, especially being in that area and being in that arena and being in corporate America. And what does that actually look like? And how does that actually feel? Yeah, so it did open imposter syndrome wounds, and it did, like, imposter syndrome took over my life for a little while.
Okay.
It was like in the car and pushed me out the way and was like, I'm gonna drive this thing for a minute.
Listen,
Coach Tiffany, what you got to say?
I can second, third, fourth, fifth, and home run that for you. List my first chapter in Coaches Connect was about imposter syndrome. I didn't go so much into the different stories, but I will. That particular book, but like you, here in my community, I worked in the nonprofit sector, worked there for 27 years, from administrative assistant up to senior leadership. I did amazing things in the community, like things that people, including myself, didn't even believe that I could do. I was in positions that this is how God works, okay? He will set you up.
And will.
I didn't have experience in 90 of the positions that I had. But what happens is when you're anointed,
come on,
you listen to where Father is directing you to go. The place is already prepared for you. We go with fear, we go with doubt, but he sent you. So the place was already prepared for me in every space that I went. It didn't mean, though, that the space was prepared that I wasn't going to deal with adversity, because I did.
Right.
Adversity in the form of microaggressions, adversity in the form of, oh my God, you're very articulate for a Black girl. Adversity in the fact that I didn't see anyone who looked like me in the sector doing anything that I was doing. So there wasn't even anyone for me to lean on. There wasn't anyone for me to glean from. You know what I'm saying? He'll put you in position that can't nobody get the glory but him. And this is so. In each one of these positions, he graced me and he blessed what I knew with his hand. And I was able to create beautiful things in his name for the community, raised millions of dollars for the community, always creating legacy for individuals who didn't ever want me in the room.
Come on.
Wow. It's hard to be in those spaces, y'all. I'm telling you.
And what is most hurtful about my positions is half of the positions that I was in, I was transitioned from those positions because they brought in, once they were tired, they brought in somebody who looked like me to get rid of me.
Uh-huh.
And this is the hurt of my heart. The hurt of my heart is that I have never and would have never stepped on anybody's neck to get anything because I know who I am and where my provision comes from. I have said this before, and I will say it as many times as I need to. Sister, brother, that look like me, don't ever step on the neck of your sister and brother for a title of a position that they don't want either one of us to have.
Come on.
Right.
Know who you are. Look for you authentically. That's what we do here at the Coaches Connect. We help you connect with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Connected. Okay, that's gonna be another saying. I'm gonna put it in quotes though, okay? But I ain't gonna use that, okay? I'm gonna use it. And speaking of connecting, wait, let me go back and say something. Y'all ever notice when we're in those spaces and we do what we do and we're just good at what we do? It's not to outshine nobody. We become a target just for doing what we do. That's it. Your second day there, you just doing what you do, and you're a target. I just had
let's just stay right there for a moment because I think I need to seed this into us as Black women. The air that we breathe is a threat. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? That's how powerful we are. We are the creators of the world. I ain't making that up. I ain't pulling that out of the air. We are the beings of everything. That's who we are. That's who we were created to be.
Yeah.
That is why our presence enters the room just when people know that we're coming. That's how powerful we are. And once we learn to cultivate that power and walk in it with grace, the grace that He has given us to walk in it, that is when we will accomplish great things. It's not about doing it and getting it done and doing it and pushing and pushing. It's never about hustle. It's always about alignment to who you are and whose you are. Those things open the floodgates.
Alignment. Yes, the alignment does. Absolutely. But like you said, we have to, as coaches, it can start with us. We have to help people understand who they are. And you're so right, because a lot of times these different beliefs, because Tira and I are both belief therapists, people have these beliefs about themselves, and the way they think about themselves, it's why they are not getting to those different points in their lives that they want to get to. It's why do you think this about yourself?
It's who told you that?
Who told you that? Yes,
who made you feel that way?
Ask them that.
I just to add to that. So it's like this saying that I've heard said, and it's when you can't you can't do it right when you see you wrong.
Ooh,
You can't do that right.
So you can't. Yeah, that's my adoption of it, because I done heard it many different ways, but you can't do it right if you see you wrong.
That's good.
That's so good.
That's good.
And that reminds me of something. And if y'all want to jump in, just jump in. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
That reminds me of something. I was reading a book. Y'all read a lot of books. And I was reading this book and how it talked about we have to learn how to become more self-aware and stop running from things and face it. If that's what you feel about yourself, then face it, because upon facing that, then you can begin to change that.
Yep.
You can start healing it. So,
yeah. And I mean, like, when you look at emotional intelligence, self-awareness is the first component.
Self-awareness, it sure is.
First component.
It sure is. Because people always ask me, because I'll read a book And I'm not looking for anything like how I read a book and then I like, wait a minute, I went through this in my childhood. What is this talking about? And then another layer is peeled back. I don't go looking for that. However, I do read for that awareness because I can't heal what I'm not aware of.
Come on.
You're open to receiving that. That's why it's coming to you. You're open to receiving it. When you're open to things, that's how you cultivate movement, being open to. So we were having our girlfriends talk before we went live. And we were talking about mindset, right? So if all of us here had not changed our mindsets,
absolutely,
we could not be here,
absolutely,
guiding anyone, right?
Right.
So I don't know about the rest of you, but my practices with my clients come from lessons that I've learned.
absolutely.
They come from processes that I've gone through. They come through, you know what I mean? I can't help you get through what Sally went through because I ain't Sally.
Right.
Right.
I'm Tifa, and I'll help you with your I'll help you get it right. I hope you not even care what other people say. But I ain't Sally.
Y'all, that's actually the title of my chapter in the first one. Change your mindset, change your life. Isn't that something? Yes. T. Nicole,
I was about to say T. Nicole looked like she got all kinds of stuff.
Come on.
Right.
Look up and down.
Listen,
When I made more faces, I was like, I could just see it. Those wheels are just spinning.
I said, T finna unwrap this scarf and mother.
Honey.
But the thing is, it's for this specific one about the adversities. So here it is. I'm gonna just say what my title is. It's Unbreakable Spirit, and it's so funny. It's in alignment with Tierra. But the thing is, it's also in alignment, like what my situations is and what I've been through. It's like I've always settled. And so it's like you may break the body, you may break some other things, but you cannot break my spirit. And so that's why I said, let me do this unbreakable spirit.
Yes,
No matter what we go through, the different challenges we face, your spirit cannot be broken by physical things, by men, but it can sometimes be messed with. So now when you get back into this place where you have to rebuild your spirit, you have to rebuild your mind, you have to rebuild your body. But oh my God, when I tell y'all everything that y'all have said, like I can't even go into details about everything because y'all done said it. Because it's like being the imposter. It's like being broken. You going to work every single day and somebody don't like you because you who you are. You come into the room authentically like yourself and they talk about you because you're smiling too much. They talk about you because you the only one getting the customer surveys and they giving you all the high ratings, but they don't like you just because you happy. But that's not, listen, I say they can't break you. They can't break you. So when I tell you, I'm so excited that I was a part of this book, but I can't wait to read everybody's chapter because it's amazing how we're so strong. We have been through all that we've been through, but we come here together, and it's so funny how our stories are in alignment. And it's all these different adversities, and it's like I done been there. I've been there with that boss. I've been there with that person that didn't like me because I was who I was, and they wasn't happy with being who they were, or because I go outside and I dance in the rain because I'm not trying to be conditioned by the traditions of the world, but I'm seeking God for who I am. So that's why I said unbreakable spirit, because I realized like I'm not a human being just here. I'm a spiritual being having this human experience. And so that's why I wanted to talk about that. I'm just saying, because I've been sitting here and I've been quiet because these tears are just coming down. Because when I tell you, whoever watches this video, they're going to be like, dang, that was me. You can put yourself in everybody's shoes because we all, look, sometimes we say, I ain't never been through nothing, or I'm not going through nothing. If y'all knew about these last couple months since I've been in this new state, this new place, I had to find out who I really was, because I knew God for a long time, but I didn't know my strength. So that's why I say my spirit was unbroken. Like this, I might crash sometimes. I might listen. I started riding the bus
all the time.
I had to talk about that. I've been riding the bus. I ain't never had to ride no bus until I got to a new state. But it was a part of the process.
Mhm.
It was
Yes.
a part of the journey. That's
Yes.
not, it didn't break me, it made me stronger. It made me
Yeah.
realize something. So I don't want to keep going because I already know I might get more into the book, but it's just being that unbreakable spirit, despite whatever has been picking at you, whatever you're going through. You can't let that stop you from dancing in the rain or showing up
right.
authentically or being who you see. God created us to be somebody great. And that's what we got to realize. And so that's all I was talking about in my chapter, just by standing, just believing in who you are, no matter what comes your way.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And it's okay to cry. Go.
Yeah.
I want to just say that as much as you need to. All I say is when you start crying, don't stop it. Like, don't make yourself stop.
That's right.
Just let it flow, and it'll automatically stop when that releases come. So it's okay to cry, because I will intentionally cry every week if I feel like I ain't cried this week. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go watch something to make me cry. It's a release. So don't cry if you need to. Okay.
Yes.
Coach, what you was about to say?
I was about to say, so you heard like all the hoopla and all the things that's been going on with Deion Sanders leaving JSU on to Colorado and all these things. Well, I was watching an Instagram post that he did. So this morning was their first, I guess it was their first meeting as the coaches table or whatever. And, he said, put on my theme music. So he got musical blasting in there. And if you look around the room, like all of his guys, they're over there bobbing. And, the newer guys that are from Colorado, they're not really bobbing. So in the comments, they were just making note of the differences in the cultures, right? Well, Coach Prime came back and he posted something else about it. And he said this, he said, I don't need them to dance to my music. I don't need them to participate in what brings me joy. Each one of these coaches in here I chose, I expect them to coach these young men and develop them with passion and purpose. But I don't need them to partake in what makes me happy. He said, you have to understand that God made everyone individual and there's only one you. And listen, like we hear that all the time, but I think when you put the two scenarios together and you can see it kind of played out, and it was instantly, he came right back. So, they must have been reading the comments, but he came back and he's like, y'all can just calm down. It doesn't matter. I could be dancing all by myself because God created me like me.
Yes.
So I don't need them to join in for me to feel confident. And then he said something else. He said, do not allow my confidence to aggravate or to upset or irritate your, hold on. I don't want to misquote. Him. So y'all go ahead. I'm gonna find this quote. But it was just something that he said. And I was just like, that is so true. We don't really hone in, and we don't really bring that to the forefront all the time. That it's only one me.
That's it.
God created me to be me. It's only one me. So why am I trying to mimic someone else's sauce when my sauce is just as saucy?
Just as saucy, honey.
Listen, so I didn't speak to my chapter for volume 2. And my chapter for volume 2, I again speak to an opportunity for change that I had in regards to not meeting my goals, being my own worst enemy, quite frankly. That's the title of my chapter. And I talk very vividly about how, easily we can fall into the trap of being our own worst enemy, and how many different activities or lack thereof that we could do that make us our own worst enemy, that prevent us from reaching the goal, that prevent us from even reaching the milestone. Okay. And we talked about the milestone that can be a fail or really good,
Yeah.
So I am excited about this chapter because, like many of the other coaches, we went a little further and created workbooks for you to so that you could work through these scenarios that we are talking about to help you identify with you, show up as your authentic self, heal in spaces that you were once afraid to speak about. That's what Coaches Connect is about. We peel us back so that you can find comfortable. You can find a space to be comfortable and be vulnerable. That's why we tell ourselves back. That's why we tell you our process. That's why we open these things up to you. Because if things are happening in our lives, or the lives of those individuals that you see as experts, yes, they can happen in your life. Things that are happening in your life can absolutely happen in our lives and probably already have.
Yes.
We just had the mind shift, the growth in mindset that has shifted us to say, hey, this is who I am, good, bad, indifferent. This is the process that I went through to change whatever it was that I identified that didn't sit right with me. Not that didn't sit right with you or somebody else, but it didn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
So I pray that everyone who watches this, who gets the book, it will be the next thing you need. From volume 1 to volume 2 will be exactly what you need. And on that end, I'm going to bounce a question to our visionary, Miss Ma'am. Miss Ma'am.
Oh, ma'am.
How do we get here?
Oh, gosh. How did we get from volume 1 to volume 2? Okay, so I mentioned earlier that, we did volume 1 and we're working on volume 2. That's the one we're releasing early February. So how do we get from one to the other? This is how. We had to make you aware. It goes back to awareness that a lot of the times the point A to point B that we want to get to, it seems kind of difficult to get there because it feels like something is missing. Like some type of resource, some tool, some strategy, something is missing. So in the first one, I just wanted to introduce you to the Coaches Connect to let you know that we were the missing link. Like it's us.
It's us.
Because as a coach with a coach, my coach was my missing link. And I still have her. She's probably going to come back and watch the replay. But yeah, I still have her in my life because sometimes I still need that wisdom. And I need someone to support me and, to just guide me, and I can bounce ideas off. Kind of the same thing that my clients do with me, I do with my coach. So that's what volume 1 did. And then volume 2, though, we had to let y'all know that although you got the missing link, okay, you got your coach, but then there's some things that you may experience and go through getting from point A to point B of your journey of, reaching your goals. So now we're helping you to navigate through that stuff. So you got the link, and now you have tools and strategies to navigate stuff. Because one thing about it with our minds, if we always self-sabotage, if we always give up on ourselves, if we throw ourselves under the bus, your brain has built up this structure to where it's used to you doing that. That's what it's used to. So when you try to go do something different, your brain is sending off alarms like, like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Abort mission, abort mission. This is not what we're used to. You really have to remold your brain and your mindset because, and then this is the thing, you've been given that your brain will reward you if you give up. Because that's what it's used to. Because that new thing is a threat. It's perceiving it like a threat because that's not what you normally do. You normally give up, like I used to do. That's why my chapter From Pit to Purpose. That's what I'm talking about. I just throw in the towel. Like, I'm not doing this. So my brain rewarded me for giving up, and then I sit there and say, okay, that wasn't the door God wanted for me because my brain just rewarded me. No, that's it was. You're so used to self-sabotaging yourself that you don't know the difference between your own worst, being your own worst enemy, as Coach Tiffany said, and the voice of God. Because yes, it was. You just didn't hang in there. So we have to rewire. We literally have to rewire our brain. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like doing the work, because it's going to take work. And this is why we are doing what we're doing. We're doing the Coaches Connect Volume 2. We did volume 1. We're doing volume 2. We're gonna have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, just as long as we can go with this thing. Okay. There is, the Coaches Connect is the tree, and now I'm coming up with programs so we can have branches from those trees, from the Coaches Connect tree. More to come about that. However, y'all, the Coaches Connect, basically, this brand is for the whole being, starting right here. And you got all these coaches right here that can help you get this together. You got coaches right here that's gonna help you get that emotional together, because your thoughts impact you emotionally, and however you feel is how you're going to behave.
Come on.
If you want to know somebody's mindset, look at their behavior.
That's how you show up.
That enough.
I've said it a dozen times. It's how you show up.
Yes, look at how, when I was the self-sabotager, you knew that was my mindset, because I'm always giving up. But like I said, that's that thing that, like, we are really fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, we really are. We are self-healing beings if we do the work. Our minds, like, your brain can remember how you respond all the time, and then perceive it as a threat when you want to do something different. Come on now.
Come on.
And that's why in my chapter I talk about it's actually creating new habits, and that's why. And I go a little deeper in the workbook and in the group coaching program, because your girl I'm gonna make sure I do whatever I can with this chapter. Okay, so even in the group coaching program that I've created from my chapter, I'm just gonna show you how to create those new habits so you can build that new brain structure, so that your brain can stop rewarding you for giving up, and you can stop saying it must have been God.
Come on,
because we need to stop that.
Come on.
All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I did not mean to go there. I did not mean to go there.
Okay. It's okay.
Before we go any further, I have to redeem this quote, because
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mess up Coach Prime stuff. But it says, "Don't allow my confidence to offend your insecurity. I'm in my purpose."
Ooh.
Oh, I'm a coach.
Period.
I'm gonna say it one more again. One more
time for the replay viewers. Okay.
He says, "Don't allow my confidence to offend your insecurity."
Come on, pull it together. Pull it together.
Yes. Because offended people and insecure people try to shrink people.
Yeah,
and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, don't do that. That's not cute.
That at all.
That's not cute.
So
Coach
here's the thing,
Latasha, I feel like you got something for us.
Oh, yeah, I was just sitting here listening, and I'm like, Coach T Nicole, I was just thinking about just how we live on autopilot. You drive to work, and when you think about it, you're really not even paying attention. You're just so used to just driving, or you're so used to just doing these things, because it's habit forming. And then once you adopt that growth mindset, and when you realize, okay, I can do this, and I can achieve these goals, I can do it. It's like your brain is going through a shock. It's shocking your brain, because your brain is like, wait, what are you doing? You normally don't go this far. You normally don't take this route. You normally don't do this. But we have to do it. And like you said, it's not, okay, that's not God talking to me. That's the devil. I'm just hearing things. No, that's just us not listening, not following through, not walking fully in our purpose. And then until he, like Coach Tiffany says, sits us down somewhere. Sit you down.
He said,
and then we have to all the way down. All the way down. But it's just to think of just not, we live in autopilot for so long, and it becomes habit, and it's just, you don't even think about what you're doing, because it's just a habit. You just do it daily routine. Right. So it's so good that, like you said, once we change our mindset, everything changes. And it's our surroundings, the people that our tribe, we start being around like-minded women that are on the same page, you lose those people that wanted to see you, that never said, hey, you could do this. They let you be small, because that's what they wanted you to be small. It's just how when all the doors open, once you change your mindset. It's amazing to just kind of sit back. If someone would have told me 10 years ago I'd be an author, I would be like, no, not me, or I'd be a speaker, no, not me. But I had a fixed mindset then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I have a new mindset.
Yes.
I'm just ready to read the whole book. I'm ready to read the book.
I know it's gonna be good.
Oh
I actually started. I started pre-sales today.
Oh, come on!
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started pre-sales today, and I'm gonna let that run through Christmas, and then I got a surprise for y'all on the pre-sales.
Oh.
Okay, when are we gonna find out the surprise?
Right.
Not for y'all, for them.
Oh, not for for them. For them.
Oh, okay. That's too excited, honey. Coach Latasha, can you tell the audience about, you have an event coming up next month on the same day I got a workshop, but thank you, Miss Ma'am. And I can't make it. But can you tell the audience about it so maybe somebody could come in my place or something?
Yes. So on January 14th, I'm going to be hosting along with two other amazing women. It is a self-healing, self-care brunch. We're going to talk about our changing our mindset, thinking abundance. We're not thinking lack of. We're going to have the breaking of the plates. We're going to do vision board activities. And we're just basically just going to get together and let's just talk. We have some guest speakers that's going to talk about their self-healing journey and what they've gone through to just spread awareness.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that we need to do as women, but we also need to always remember that it's always collaboration over competition. And I think that's a biggest problem is people are scared to tell someone how to do something because they're afraid that person's going to do it better. No, what God has for you is for you, and what God has for that person is for that person. So that's going to be January 14th from 11 in Summit, Mississippi. If anyone is available, reach out to me, let me know, but we would love to have anyone that could, possibly come out. It's just self-healing, self-care, just a good way to start the year off right.
Yes, I want to come so bad. I got a workshop at 2. I wonder, can I film my workshop from the car?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
Can I sit in the car?
Can you pre-do it? Can you pre-record it maybe?
Can you do another one maybe?
Most definitely. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I'll get with you prior to setting the date.
I'm done.
Make sure you can do that.
These two are mess.
Yes. Okay. Yes. And you know what? Coach Tira and I stay in the same area. We're gonna carpool. Okay.
Yes. Perfect.
We're gonna carpool. But ladies, this was amazing. Definitely time well spent. I could sit on here for hours and hours and hours, like Money Long say, but I know that, you guys have to, get ready for bed and everything, but this was amazing. I do plan to be on weekly. So whoever is available, you can get on with me. I'll have topics and we're just going to run this thing because the people need us. Mm-hmm. They need us. They need our voices and they need the authenticity. They don't need people acting like they ain't never been through nothing. Because how are we gonna get people to? How are we gonna relate to anyone if we coming on here like we ain't never been through nothing? Like, child, I got a laundry list of stuff I've been through. I write about it in every book I put my hands in.
Let me tell you something, okay?
Okay, everything. So can't nobody say, "Oh, well, I remember when you did this." Oh, the world remember now because I was. Oh, thank you.
I know me.
Somebody else. But thank y'all so much for being on. This was some great conversation. And I hope y'all will be available another Wednesday to come back on with me.
Absolutely, we will.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone that tuned in, and those of you who will catch the replay. I hope that it was a whole lot of nuggets dropped on here, so watch it through and through, please. And if you need either one of us, just reach out. If you don't know the contact information for one, just reach out to me and I will get you connected. get connected. Hashtag get connected. Anytime you want to tweet or quote something that we said here, just hashtag get connected. Hashtag the coaches connect, so we can find that and we can follow and all of that good stuff. But until next time, you guys have an amazing night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.